Welcome back, Battlefielders. Abel here. Today I have for you a guide to being a kick-ass engineer. Call it Kickin' Ass with the Engineer class. So sit back, I'm going to tell you about my top weapons, what type of rockets you want to use, what kind of gadgets you're going to want to use, and we'll finish off with a little bit of gameplay review, and hopefully you learn a thing or two. So to start off, we're going to go through guns, and then rockets, and then gadgets. As far as perks go, explosives for pretty much any situation, unless somebody else in your squad already has explosives perk. You're going to want the rockets regardless. As far as camouflage, pick something that matches a tank. It's probably your best bet on average. So here we're going to go with the M4A1. That is your bread and butter carbine. It's good at every distance. Throw a heavy barrel on for medium long range. If you're close range, throw a laser sight on there. And we're going to go with a SMAW and M15 AT mines. I love the mines. Okay, so this is footage of the M4A1 with the suppressor on it. So it drops the guys pretty quickly. It's the winning feature for me is the reload. It seems to reload just in time all the time. It's got the heavy barrel on there now. A little bit longer range shots. This weapon is basically the equivalent of the M16 for the assault class in the engineer class. It's my go-to weapon. When I need to get the job done, this is what I use, the M4A1. Next up, new weapon that came with close quarters, the MTAR. This is a close quarters beast of a weapon. Throw a laser sight on this, especially if you're going to be running around in armor, and match it up with a repair tool. When you jump out to repair your tank or your LAV or whatever it is you're in, if somebody's there, this thing will take them down. Here, I'm just mowing through people here. And Magnum for the save. Magnum is my choice of pistol for engineer, but we'll get to that later. Some more rush defense with the MTAR and Magnum sidearm. At medium range, you're going to find that you don't hit as much, but if you can keep the recoil under control, this gun is great. The recoil is the only real downside. It kicks all over the place. But you can get a pretty good grip on it, and makes the weapon quite usable at medium range. Long range, save the bullets. I wouldn't even give away your position. A little more, I probably could have stayed straight in behind them and just hip fired them all from the back, but it didn't work. Yeah, nice. This is a medium, closer to, not quite long range, but medium range for sure. Next up, the ACWR. This gun does a little bit less damage at close range, but a little bit more damage at longer range. So your time to kill for close, medium, and long range is almost the same, really. Obviously, it's less at close range, but it's more balanced than the other weapons. It's got a pretty good rate of fire, but ideally, I would use this for medium to long range. But it is quite a nice weapon. I do like it. Next up, the Scar H. Now this one has a low magazine count, which can take a bit of getting used to, but it does a little bit extra damage at longer range, and it's super accurate. You can use single shot mode for longer range engagements. The only real downside with this one is the first bullet kick. I mean, the recoil off the first shot, it just kicks like a mule, this thing. So if you can get that under control, this gun will work for you. but the rate of fire is a little bit low. A general rule of thumb that I've found is the more accurate the weapon, the lower the rate of fire. So if you want something for longer range, go with a lower rate of fire. If you want something with closer range, go with a higher rate of fire. And then in the middle. So the M4A1 is kind of the nice middle ground. That was a nice shot. That's why I love the Magnum. It's super accurate. Medium, even sometimes out to long range.
Enemy soldier spotted. Over.
I mean, that's crazy. So, MTAR again.
Enemy soldier spotted. Over.
This is a freebie headshot. And I fucking totally missed this guy.
These cocksuckers, I'm getting fucking pissed.
More Magnum. One shot to the head is usually enough. I've tried the other pistols, but the one reason I go for the Magnum over anything else is because it can be used to take out mines and other explosives. I just can't pass it up. When I'm playing an engineer, if I see mines down somewhere, it's my job to get rid of them. So having a sidearm that can take them out is awesome. Now to RPGs. RPGs can be used for everything. Here on Bazaar, knocking the rubble down. Didn't get any kills. But there's rubble on Bazaar, there's rubble on Sid. I mean, use it. Rockets can be used for anti-personnel, anti-armor, anti-transport vehicles, anti-buildings. I mean, anti-helicopters, anti-jets. Rockets are good for everything. The only thing with ground vehicles and armor is you want to hit them as direct, perpendicular to the vehicle, the side of the vehicle that you're hitting as you can. A straight-on direct hit is always better than a glancing blow. The damage is quite a bit different. Generally, a tank without reactive armor, you can disable it with a perfectly straight-on shot from the rear. But if it's got reactive armor, it'll take two. But the nice thing about the RPGs is how fast you can get out of cover and back into cover. I'll cover that a little bit more with the Javelin and the anti-air rockets. But you always want to try and line up the straightest shot you can. It's definitely worth the bonus to the damage. I run RPGs almost all the time. The only time I would run anything else would really be if we were being totally dominated in the air by a bunch of good pilots. I might switch to the anti-air rockets, but I probably wouldn't. They're just against good pilots. The anti-air rockets just aren't that great. Javelin, use it if somebody's got soul flam up. If somebody has a soul flam up, or lots of guys being laser designated, throw up your Javelin and go kick some ass. Let's go over that again later. This guy was just sitting there, so here's, you can use mines on the ground, friendly or enemy, to help do damage to enemy vehicles. I just can't believe how useful the rockets are. One hit usually disables the small jeeps and whatnot. 2 hits to destroy them. Reload time is a little bit long on the RPG, but I mean, it's worth the wait. It's a nice little 2-piece and a disable. And look at that. Anti-air RPG. Takes a little bit of practice, well, quite a bit of practice to get good at it. But once you do get good at this, RPGs are the way to go. You don't want to use anything else. The reward is the feeling of shooting a helicopter down with an RPG. Is amazing. And don't be afraid to hop out of your tank if you're in the gunner seat or the third seat and your tank runs into enemy armor. Don't be afraid to hop out and throw a couple rockets into the enemy tank. Make the difference between losing your tank or not.
Enemy choppers.
Here we have the anti-air rockets. biggest piece of advice if you're going to use these things is you have to lock on,
Enemy helicopter
let
coming
them
in.
flare or use their ECM, and then wait a second or two and then shoot. If you shoot as soon as you lock on, they're going to flare, wasted your round. The only other big problem is you got to stand out in the open and lock onto these things. You're standing out in the open. I died a lot shooting all these things down. And it's pretty much always a one-hit disable with the anti-air rockets. You almost, not very often do you get a kill, and it's only if somebody else has already damaged the vehicle. So I don't really recommend these rockets. They can be put to use, but they're just not a one-hit kill. They're not really that great.
Enemy helicopter spotted. Over.
But every now and then I did get some good shots. See, here my buddy got one off, which took out flares, and then I got one off just in time to take them out. That's what usually happens when you're locking onto something. So here we are with the Javelin. Again, lock on timer, I'm not a big fan. It does do a lot more damage than an RPG, but you have things like this happen where two vehicles come up and you can't lock onto anything. That tank there took 2 shots from an RPG and wasn't even disabled. So it took 1 in reactive and 1 shot, probably a glancing blow. I don't know. I can do the same thing with RPGs. But now, get a SOFLAM up, these things laser targeted, and it's Christmas. The attack choppers go down in 1 shot. The transport choppers get disabled in 1 shot. But they usually crash and die anyways. Without SOFLAM, I don't really find Javelin that much more useful where I would use it over the RPGs in response. It's fun if you're on a big game and you have SOFLAM support or laser designators on your aircraft, use it. It's great if you have guys laser targeted. If not, it's just going to get you killed standing out in the open. Here we have a little bit of repair torch now. If one side of your reactive armor gets hit, you can hop out, repair it. It takes about 3 seconds. And your reactive armor will come back on, but it probably won't show up on the HUD. Try and repair your tank before it gets disabled. Once it's disabled, it's not very mobile as you're repairing. It's basically a sitting duck. So if you can hop out before it gets disabled to repair, you're doing yourself a favor. Use the tank as cover. And hop in and out as much as you can to try and squeeze off a kill here or there. Again, hop out, taking some shots, use the tank for cover again, leave behind, do your repair work. If you can, look around a little bit, pay attention to your mini-map when you're doing this for sure. The repair torch is always there. You know, you don't have to reload it, you don't have ammo, it's always there, it's always useful. Here I am repairing a chopper. Chopper pilots are always taking damage. You can help keep your chopper up in the air by using the repair torch. And it can be used to destroy enemy vehicles. Disable and fully destroy. And, like I said, don't forget to watch your back. So yeah, take another one down. And then you can tell as soon as it switches, as soon as it went to repair, I knew that he's out.
Objective secured.
And we almost got to steal this tank. Mines. Mines go in choke points, around corners, and in changes of elevation. Like right here on the bottom end of a hill. If they come flying over that hill, they're not going to see the mines in time. You get nice easy kills, you help control the flow of vehicles on the battlefield. If you space the mines out, they can't blow them all up in 1 shot, and it takes time and will kill anybody in a Jeep. On Gulf of Omen, I sometimes just walk around and place single mines. All the Jeeps are running around. If you see enemy mines, if you either get rid of them, if your tanks are going to be going that way, if not, put your mines over top of your enemy mines, and you get double the bang for your buck. And the opponent might not notice that it's an enemy mine. Mines are great. At the beginning of a round, anything with vehicles, I always like to spawn as an engineer, go put up mines, because they don't disappear when you die. They will be there until somebody runs over them or blows them up. So go out in first life, throw down mines, and then change to whatever other class you want later. It's awesome. Free kills. And the EOD bot. Okay, this little bastard is a bitch to control. Basically, you don't want to do too much turning while you're moving. It can be used to arm MCOMs. You have to be sneaky with it. Once you're spotted, you're dead. It doesn't take very long to get a kill on somebody, but it takes a little while to get the hang of driving it, steering it, and whatnot. And if you run into, like, ram an enemy vehicle, you'll destroy your bot. But it can be quite fun, and it can do everything that your repair torch can do. We have to get some repairs in. It's one way that you can go in the middle of a fight without putting your own life at risk and get the repairs on the tank when you normally wouldn't want to. The only problem is, once your EOD bot is gone, you are left with nothing. At least if you have a repair torch, you always have a repair torch. So I would recommend using the repair torch any day over the EOD bot, unless you're just looking to have a little fun.
The objective has been lost. The objective has been lost.
So now I got a little bit of tank flips here. These are just bits of gameplay that happened while I was filming for this video that I thought kind of were really good, actually. Like this one, I see the tank coming, so I could take a shot from here. He hasn't seen me yet. I think I can make it around behind. Oh, there's one guy. Take him out. Oh, no, not yet. Get the straight on shot from the rear. Disabled. One shot. Don't be afraid to help out your other teammates by switching a kit every now and then to get some revives. Now I'm back up, I got my squad with me. There's one tank. It's a pretty good fight with this tank, but watch the mini-map. There's another tank. He came out guessing he was looking for some C4 kills, but he ended up just trading me for an almost brand new tank. So in the end, my ultimate engineer kicking ass with the engineer class kit would be M4A1 with heavy barrel foregrip, RPG or small. I would normally go with mines unless I'm planning on riding in armor off the bat. Once you got 6 mines out, there's no point in spawning with more mines. Just leave them there, switch to repair tool, and explosives perk. So I hope you've learned a few things. I hope you liked the video. Here we go. A little more action with the EOD bot. It was kind of fun running around with the EOD bot. I do recommend giving it a try, but not if you're really trying to win. So, thank you for watching. Like it or don't. Subscribe. It's up to you. Able out.